Welcome to Forensic Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com
Reviews for
in
science.
7 minutes or less. DC deck building game Heroes Unite, the first expansion and standalone base set to the core game, with all new heroes, which are so cool, and all new villains, which are also pretty cool. And I would say that this set has a lot of, like Molly and I were discussing this, I think there's a lot of deck manipulation and lineup manipulation and hand manipulation, but I as well think that it has a lot of card synergy. This one looks for a little bit like Teen Titans, which comes much later in the line of DC deck building sets. It looks for specific types of cards to go along with these. For instance, Science Cell is worth 1 point for each different villain in your deck at the end. So you're going for more villains, whereas the Blue Lantern Power Ring gives +1 power and an additional +1 power for each hero in your discard pile and that you play or have played this turn. And so there's things like that, like even this attack here. So this one I think is more along the deck manipulation side. It says attack. Each foe reveals the top card of his deck. If its cost is odd, that player gains a weakness. And then these defenses both let you put something from your discard pile on top of your deck or draw a card. So I mean, there's things that you need a lot of card synergy. I think you want to explain this one in a second. But then there's the stuff that lets you manipulate your deck. This says +2 power. You may put your deck into your discard pile. So that's the spin, I would say, of Heroes Unite. Let's talk simplicity versus complexity.
I think this game is a little bit more complex than the base DC. Not in gameplay; it's the exact same gameplay, where you have the lineup to choose from and use your power to purchase. But in the card synergy, making your deck cohesive it is a little bit more tricky because it is more focused, and so it's a tiny bit more complicated. And there's a whole nother deck of cards, right? So you have all that card text to worry about. Not worry about, but to learn new cards. But that's not anything new for those that love deck building games. Yeah.
This is, I would say, on the same order of simplicity versus complexity as the first one. It's playable out of the box. The rules are, I think, some of the best written rules in the industry. Granted, there's still sometimes we have to go to BoardGameGeek.com and get on the forums and ask people for some help. But like they've got the examples. It's really easy to read, and it's a simple game. You can pick this up. You can pick this up and play it in less than say an hour on your first time.
Yeah.
It's not daunting. Luck versus strategy.
I think this game is on par with its predecessor, the base, or other deck building games. In the luck, there's going to be luck in what cards come out for you to purchase. Do you get the best cards that you think are the best cards, or do other people? But then also there's a lot of strategy in what cards you actually do get and what you do with your deck, especially in this one when you can manipulate your deck so much. And there are some crazy cards, which I guess we'll talk about in just a minute, that I think just make it insane. But I do think that there is a good amount of strategy because of all the different strategies you can go for depending on what comes out.
Yeah, I would say that this is a little bit more strategic than the first because of how much you can manipulate your deck, the lineup, your discard pile, even your hand, and set up turns or prepare for a better turn. And so I think that even though it still has the luck factor of it being a conveyor belt of a lineup and what comes out after you buy something, that's not you don't have much control over that. I mean, there are some cards that do manipulate that, but for the most part, that's just the whim of chance. But I do think there's that subtle strategy there, which I think the first set is fun, but this does have just a little bit inch more of strategy, which helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Fun versus boring. I think this game is super fun. There is nothing like fighting over the Science Cell. It costs 6. It costs 6 power.
Those cards.
And man, when it comes out, everyone's trying to get it or destroy it.
It could be 13 points.
It could be more. So it's totally nuts. I really enjoy the Suicide Squad-esque cards are the power rings.
Oh yeah.
But they're all different and they're all crazy and they're all worth having. it's fun to have these new powers, and they also somewhat go along with the deck manipulation or card synergies that you have. And I mean the locations. I think there's one different location, but everything else is basically the same. They just depend on if you have heroes or villains or equipment or whatnot. And they're
But
about
you,
deck manipulation as
yeah,
well.
because you look at the top card and you can do
And you can
something with,
discard
yeah.
it, or there's just I think this follows a really fun theme.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this game is super fun. The card I wanted to talk about was Science Cell and Saint Walker.
So good.
Yeah, this card, however many villains you have, I think Tom read earlier, and this one is for however many different heroes you have. And so these cards can be so much more than these super villains, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Double.
if someone gets one of each of these, you better watch out. And if you don't get your hand on one of these, you better go for these huge to make up for that. And so I think this game is super fun because of that. Yeah, I enjoy this game, and I enjoy trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Some of the cards that you might not think are that great become good depending on who you are, and so I really like that aspect in this game. So on BGG, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, easy.
Yeah. Um, every time we hit multiples of 500 subscribers on YouTube, we give away a free glitter painting of either your favorite superhero icon or other game-related thing. So make sure to subscribe now on YouTube.
It could be you that wins.
DC deck building game Heroes Unite. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.